And this could very well be the Old Tube Radio Network. We'll give it a try tonight on one of those OTRs that doesn't happen too often, the 29th of February, Leap Day. So leap over to your radio desk and warm something up when we start checking in radios here. On the West Coast, Central California, the Old Tube Radio Network, 27085, Channel 11, the frequency of choice for the last couple of years here on the Old Tube Radio Network. My name is Dennis, your net control operator for the evening, reminding you that OTR is here to promote the use and distribute information about old tube radios on your 11-meter citizen band radio service. We welcome anyone to participate. This is not a club. No funny handshakes, no dues to pay. Just chime in with your check-ins and your radios, and we will have a great time like they often did back in the day when these radios were brand new. Here for the next couple of hours. We'll start with the direct and net roll call, and after that we will be taking your radio check-ins. Hello to those listening in over the air, 27085, also to our video listeners who may be watching live. Maybe you're watching the replay of the video and the audio replay at oldtuberadio.net. We'll say hello to everybody, but I do want to get started. So once I find all the assorted items here, get checked in with our current 00.
I guess that'd be me, 00 checking in.
All right, how is the wind out there near Sangertown? Is it blowing things up?
Yeah, there's some wind out there. I haven't been out there about an hour, but I went out there about a half an hour ago, and it was getting gusty out there.
Yeah, I managed to put the 2-meter antenna back up temporarily, and it was fine. Then a couple hours later, it was, whoa, I hope it will stay up. We will see. And indeed, we are radioactive tonight on the crossband. For those wanting to do crossband check-ins, we will give that a try. Thanks for getting us started off. Dave will catch you on the second go-around. SWL number 1. Who was always ready, whether it was AM, FM, VHF, UHF, or HF. Getting the cosmic check-in here. This is week 7 in our 8-week roster. Over to one of the guys that was on first base when we did this many years ago, moving down to Channel 11 to fire up the radios. I'm not sure if he was on the Buddy bass or on the 23 S9, whatever combination, but Mr. OBP, hello to you, and we have got you checked in. Over to SWL3, who I will check in via proxy from Thursday night at the bowling alley, where he says hello to all. SWL4. SWL5, that's Ida Mama Rose, who said, say hello to everybody. And I saw her just a few days ago. SWL6. SWL7.
SWL7, checking in.
Checking in and checked in. Thanks for hanging out in the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Then we head all the way over to lucky number 13, SWL 13, and I saw Mr. Cobra on the oldtuberadio.net page waving a hand just moments ago. So, Mike, if you're listening, we've got you checked in. SWL 14. SWL 15. Mr. Desert Rat checking in moments ago on Facebook. Hello, Fred, if you're listening in. I think at one time he had the ability of checking in 50 radios. I think he might have done that at one time. All in the same evening. Had a really neat way of patching them all together. Sort of like Geraldine, the telephone operator with his little patch cords. Worked out quite well. Next is SWL 16. SWL 17. SWL 18 from Facebook. Mr. KDA, we will get Mikey checked in. SWL 19. SWL 20.
Hey, number 20 here. Please check myself in, 295484 and his family, and 135. Oh, and this time I got here on time. The reason is I've been out here for a day and a half. There we go. Anyway, I've got a bit of a sore throat, so I don't know if I'll be checking in any radios. So just go ahead and check in this Golden Eagle R68T68 by Browning Laboratories. So go ahead and do that in case I don't get back out here. Okay? I was supposed to ease up on the work in mid-January. It's still going. I don't know about this semi-retirement stuff. Okay, Dennis, thank you much.
Sometimes it's like that. All right, there is the Browning Eagle Club badge. Uh-oh. There's the Browning Eagle Club badge. We'll pop that in there and we'll get your radio checked in when we start doing the tube radio items. Might have some questions for you, so be listening in on the Universal Media Network. Oh, also, and I don't know if this will make things easier, the crossband is up and running, so you might give it a shout and see if I can hear you. The antenna might be in a better spot. See if we can hear you on the crossband. It's up and running, so we've got you checked in. And you've been there for a day and a half. You must have moved the sterno and the porta potty out to the radio room. Sounding good, and thanks for checking in. We will get all the proxy items of interest at the right time.
Okay. Also, I have received, let me see, you got one badge, or pin. Cliff, I got him another one. Ed's requested one. So I have about 5 more. Anybody around here wants one of them, I'm letting them go for $5 piece. Anyway, I believe I have 5 more. I'm going to have to check. I'm going to make sure I keep one, and then the rest will go to people around here who would like one. Anyway, so thank you very much, Dennis, and I'll be out of here and back inside. I do know about the crossband. I'll have that one on.
All right, very good. And enjoy the badge there, and put one on the radio where it belongs. Thanks for checking in. Take it easy here on the Old Tube Radio Network. We're in the directed net roll call. We will have the glow-in-the-dark radios coming up shortly, so don't go away. Who is next? SWL 21 on, was it the Galaxy tonight? We had, was it Frank Sinatra? Somebody was singing a tune. Was singing a tune for us out there on 11 meters, live and direct from the Wasama Swamps, where the ground rod is wearing the N95 mask. He's got the ground rod sterilized just to keep it safe until the coronavirus has passed. So we will tread lightly and check in with the CDC as necessary. Thanks for listening in, Mr. JT. Perpetrator of the old radio night. Over to SWL 22.
Right.
And the break, go ahead.
Dennis, I have to kick in early because I'm not feeling too good. Is that okay with you?
That is absolutely okay. We will get the mark there at the end of page 2. So get the chicken soup and relax.
Okay, that's what I need. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Get him checked in. Mr. Belair, when we do that, let's see, I didn't see 22, and that would be out of East Texas. Let's see Let's see where the stations are listening. Let's start in the front row. Hello, Fresno Fish Camp, Hermosa Beach down there in the South Bay. Anoka, Minnesota, right in the footlights, so they can hear the jingle singers with no problem. Brandon, Florida's in. Our New York stations. Tulare, Somerville, South Carolina. Centerville, coming up to you. Are we going to get the E-Skip? Those in Woodland Park, Colorado want to know. I'm sure they've got the receivers tuned in and waiting to go. Hello to Lake Elsinore tonight up in Auberry. Fresno, San Francisco. I think that's probably X4000. Bathgate is in. Hello to you, where it is early in the morning. Sun just about ready to come up. Hello, Dallas, Georgia, and Greeley, Colorado as well, waiting for the skip. Hello to Torrance, my old stomping grounds out there, Hermosa Beach and Torrance. I talked to a lot of... Torrance was the big strappers. Back when I was doing my CB in the South Bay, the Torrance stations always seem to have the power boosters on. Hello to Connecticut, Washington, Kentucky, and a host of others yet to come here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Looking for SWL 23. The 23 Skidoo. Mitch is out there listening from the RFI capital of the world, or of California. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of places that would qualify for that. Hopefully you have your noise blanker, like I do, adjusted for maximum smoke. And we're getting a lot of wind here, so that's doing things as well. SWL 24, I know I saw Joseph in there, so 24, Mr. Black Sheep, we've got you checked in at oldtuberadio.net. Thank you. SWL 25.
Fine, check it out.
All right, sounding good. I have been working late on Wednesdays, so I haven't been able to frequent the Wednesday night place, but I think I'll be back in sync here coming up.
That's wonderful news. We missed you, but, we're still having fun on Wednesday nights on 28.445. So anyway, thanks, Dennis. All
right, thanks for checking in. Trying to blank out all the noise here. We got wind. I don't know if you can see it behind me, the flora and fauna. The breezes are blowing, and it is definitely making some static in the power lines tonight that the noise blankers aren't quite dumping out. Let's go to page 2. And Dwayne, if you're listening, the crossband is up and running, SWL 27. And whether I have the volume turned up, that's a whole different story. SWL 29, we've got a proxy check-in for Mr. Bill. Over to SWL 30. SWL 31. I do not see Hendersonville. I don't know if they are in the position or not, but I will watch out for any check-ins wherever they might be. Hello to SWL 32. Oh, was that a breaking station? Go ahead. SWL 33, myself, Bozo Control, and the Jingle Singers, Mr. Announcer, and all those in the green room tonight. SWL 34. SWL 35. I am looking on the list to see if Mr. Bill has checked in yet. I am seeing nothing from Mr. Bill. All right, I think the weather should be okay in Cheyenne tonight. SWL 36. SWL 37. And there's a note saying Hendersonville is standing by. Warren waving a hand. All right, well, I'm glad that Hendersonville is being represented tonight. I'm going to proxy in 37. I think he might have told me to do that, but I don't remember. SWL 38. SWL 39. Shortwave listener 40.
It's a jungle out here. It's a jungle out here in Chinatown. 40, checking in.
Yeah, how did the buffet go?
Oh, it was excellent. And thank goodness nobody else showed up for me to buy them dinner.
Yeah, I saw the invite. Well, that's okay. I don't do well at buffets. I don't eat enough food to qualify. I always pay way too much at a buffet unless they have a milk machine or something. I can get a couple of those. So we got you checked in, sounding good. Also, I can't see it for the lights here. There it is, up there. There's Hendersonville jumping up and down in the balcony tonight. We've got you in there, Robert and Teresa. And we'll get 40 checked in as well. Thank you, Larry. SWL 41. That is Road Dog 507 out of New York. Who is out there tonight? X4000 is watching on the video. Also, Brown Dog Audio coming up to you. 23 is in. Hello, Richard. DD21, OBP. And Warren, one of the Hendersonville. That is the bastion of tube radios out there in Tennessee. I've seen the pictures of Robert and Teresa's collection. They've got some good stuff. So I'm assuming there must be some good tube radio activity or 11-meter radio activity out there. So I'm glad you can stay up late and join us here on the old Tube Radio Network. SWL 42. SWL 43. SWL 44. I heard rumors that Ray was out in the mobile radio. I see he was on the video side, but I don't know where you're at, Ray, but I'm getting you checked in. Over. Yeah, there's a lot of static in here tonight, but you are making it through. So I've got a check-in for 43. Over.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Over.
43, we're in here. Can't hear you.
All right, somebody give me a relay. 43 is actually sounding good tonight. Over.
43, you're checked in.
And 44 is checked in. And we're going to see if we can break through the noise to say hello to SWL 45.
45. Sounding good, Dennis.
All right. Likewise, Paul, you are sounding good. I'm not making it up in the other part of the hills too well tonight, but we've got you checked in. Over.
I think there's a lot of static in there tonight.
So 43, 44, 45. SWL 46. SWL 47.
Good evening, OTR from the Radio Lounge, SWL 47. We were going to do the radio patio this evening. That hour is getting past and the backyard ready. And man, it got cold out there, so I quickly bailed on that idea. So again, hello from the warm Radio Lounge.
Good deal. I got the crossband working tonight, and I was up trying to install the antenna. It was nice around 4 o'clock, and about an hour later, things got nasty, and it's supposed to drop 20 degrees tomorrow, but I don't know if we're going to get rain or not. So stay inside where it's safe and warm, and we've got you checked in.
Thank you.
And we will have the glow-in-the-dark radios coming up after the roll call here in about 15 minutes. SWL 48. SWL 49.
Dennis, 49er checking in, waving both hands to all the SWLs out there. Sweet Country Mama wanted to say hello too, but unfortunately had to step out of the radio room. So, again, a big hello to everybody, and we appreciate the check-in, Dennis. Thank you.
All right, getting you with the X in the square. You are full quieting over the noise tonight with good audio as always. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
SWL 50.
50 here, checking in.
And 50 is checking in, so let me click all the right buttons and pull all the levers. You are official. Thanks, Mark. And this would be a take two, or a 2-for-1. The guy that got us started off was 00, SWL 51.
51 checking in.
And still sounding good. Thanks, Dave. SWL 52. SWL 53 checked in early under the weather. He is on the track to getting better tonight. There's a lot of people. I think it's an allergy thing that happens this time of year when all the plants are blooming. Kind of knocks people down. That takes the immune system out. And it's not the coronavirus yet, that's for sure. Page 3, SWL 54. Mr. Board Jammer Larry, we will get you checked in as well. Also, let me say hello to our station. That's Charlie. I always forget, out there in Anoka, Minnesota. In Zero Land, which usually comes in pretty good when we get some 10-meter AM conditions. And I hope we do. Hope we get some sunspot. We're just jumping out at 24 into 25, so it should be nice. Thanks for saying hello, Charlie. Also, let's get to SWL 55. I'm not having foot switch problems again. My Heil foot switch, maybe it's good for 1,000 stomps. Hopefully much more than that. I'm sure I've stomped this thing more than 1,000 times. SWL 55. SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. 56, just for kicks.
Out there where all the pollen is blown around like it is here. But you are sounding good. The dust on the antenna is not affecting your signal at all. And waving a hand from down in the holler with a dim tube and a piece of stretched barbed wire. They tune up lawn chairs. I know. In fact, I have one of these 6-meter lawn chair antennas ready to be put up. They modulate the bed springs, and 57 is on the barbed wire, sounding good here into OTR country tonight. And he's got a 101 EE on the bench tonight. I used to do early days of OTR. I was on the FT1, my FT101. Wasn't an E, wasn't the EE. Great AM, even without the WA1 HLR modifications. Just keep the current, down. What is it, about 150 mils or less? Keep your carrier at 10 to 15 watts or less. And that thing will scream all day. Got you checked in, Mr. Brown Dog Audio. Yeah, and Harvey's giving himself a radio check. You are full quieting. The antenna's better. The coax is better. It's not perfect, but I was able to get a little more coax. So I've got the radio out of the tree, so that could work out. So 57 is checked in. SWL 58. Yeah, you're sounding good. KB6GFD. SWL 59. SWL 60.
Thanks, Dennis. Evening time to the fellas out there and yourself. Doggone it, we want to check Jerry's base in 2527. Doggone it, and maybe that's 69 if he's listening out there over 800.
Could be. You just never know who's listening in live, and then you may never know who's listening in on the replays or the archives, such that it is putting X in the square for Joe. And the 291 base. Sounding good. SWL 61. Just like clockwork on the old tube radio network. Thanks, Dean. SWL 62.
Evening time, Dennis. This is 62 checking in from beautiful downtown Clovis.
Yeah, we might be able to see the mountains tomorrow. When all the dust settles down. Clovis, Pulaski Avenue is beautiful all the time until about, 9 o'clock when they turn all the lights off and everybody goes home. So we've got about 34 more minutes. Sounding good, and we got you checked in.
Break OTR.
There is a break OTR. Go ahead, please.
Delay check-in for 55, please, Dennis.
Hey, well, I'm on page 3. We'll just move up, and M&M is checked in over.
Thank you.
All right, and was there another breaking station for OTR?
Yes, there was.
All right, that takes us over to page 2 for SWL 37. I had proxied you in. I couldn't remember if you told me to do that or not, but you've got the official check-in now.
Did I sure in the heck don't remember, but 37 I'd like to check in.
And 37 is checked in over.
And thank you.
All right, thank you. Continuing on with the roll call. Glow in the Dark radio's coming up, and we should be at SWL 63. And that is Bubba and all the gang in the New York area. All the big iron stations checking in. We got you checked in on the carrier of 63. Next is SWL 64. SWL 65.
Can I proxy in?
65, we can get a proxy in for Eric there, no problem. SWL 66. SWL 67. I think I'm supposed to proxy in Bill, which I will do. SWL 68. SWL 69. I got to check in for Ken. Kenny might be listening. I think he catches the replay when he can. Hello, Ken. We miss you out here in the Central Valley. Over to SWL 70. SWL 71, let me check the page and see if Mr. Announcer, there he is. It's always easy to find Stan. I look for the, what do they call it, the meme, his representation of self. Work the SCQSO. Okay, is it South Carolina QSO party day, North Carolina QSO? Well, that makes sense. Oh, South Carolina today, North Carolina tomorrow. I bet Kakalaki will be in there. I did not turn on, I've been super busy. I did not turn on the HF radio until I came in here to get this thing going. So I will have to see what's happening tomorrow. See if I can hear on 20 meters some of the North Carolina stations as well. Stan, you are checked in and looking good as always. SWL 72. SWL 73. SWL 74. SWL 75. Oh, I should have done, that's right. I'm supposed to check in 74. I will do that. SWL 75. SWL 77. SWL 78, and I'm getting behind on the roster here. 78 is in, waving a hand from Lake Elsinore, or Lake Smell Some More. And where I lived, there was Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach, and El Segundo, where the LA airport runway flew over, and also the Hyperion plant. So we used to give that one. And Chevron had their refineries there. So the El Segundo was El Stinko. So, Lake, smell some more. You are smelling good here in the old tube radio tonight. Thanks, Richard. SWL 79. And I'm going to get Philip checked in not only on 11 meters, but 2 meters as well. All right, foot switch is doing wacko things. SWL 80. And then I will turn the page. What is going? The mod I was talking about on the FT101. Look up. I don't even know what it would be under. What would you search under? It is a whole mess of changing capacitors and all sorts of stuff for audio AM mods. But it's the WA1HLR modifications for the FT101. And SWL49 actually has an HLR modified 101, and it pretty much, probably you could just run a D104 on the thing and sound good, but if you're running some processing gear, it will do all sorts of good things, giving you a full fidelity for those who are able to check it out. So check out the Timtron WA1HLR mods for the FT101 series, and then you will say, "Are you crazy? I'm not gonna do all that." But there's probably just some of them you could do, and it would sound excellent. But Timtron does not like to be piss weak and yellowy, so he goes overboard. Page 4. Let's try SWL 81.
81 here. Good evening, time, Dennis.
All right, you were waiting for my wind up to wind down. You are sounding good here on 27085 tonight. Over.
That's a good deal. I probably won't make it for an old tube radio check-in, but maybe next week. But yeah, good to be able to get out here and check in.
Okay, good. Well, it's good to have you here on the audio portion regardless. So we've got you checked in. Over.
That's a good deal. All right, have a good evening, and I'm out to listen for a little bit.
All right, I'm trying to do 3 things at once. I'm not good at multitasking, it appears. So I will try to do one thing, and that is to get you checked in, and you are. Thanks. SWL 82. I heard somebody way out there. SWL 82. SWL 84, I'm getting checked in. If you're listening, Jerry, we're going to get you and the rest of the gang checked in tonight. Over. SWL 85. Real radios are going in. 44, I heard you drive through. I was in the other room, but I was monitoring the feed, and I think you were talking to Larry. Somebody. Anyway, I heard you. No, you were talking to Louie. Heard you talking to Louie, so we got you checked in. Also saw your post up on the video sites. You're sort of ubiquitous here on the old Tube Radio Network tonight, but you are checked in. And SWL 43, I heard you. I heard you there, Crazy Eddie. You were coming in fine. Check the archive. Check the playback on the video. You were booming in here tonight. It's just too much static on your end to hear this, as WA1HLR would say, piss weak and yellowy mud station. But you were doing well. Where are we on the roll call? We went up to, we're going to get 87, 86, 87, and 88 checked in. That's Mountain Mage, Handy Girl, and Snowy Owl, SWL 89. And the computer's running slow tonight, SWL 90. SWL 92. wonder if Chuck is 11 meter active. I hear him checking in on the 10 meter net, but haven't heard him on 11 for a while. SWL 93, are you still there, Louie? Otherwise, I would get you checked in from earlier. All right, we'll get Louie checked in from his earlier appearance, talking to 44. SWL 98.
Checking in, Dennis.
And you are sounding good. No problem making it through my static noise level tonight. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Dennis.
SWL 103. SWL 109. SWL 110. From Reedleytown, SWL 111. I'll check. I don't know if Robert was in on the big page or not. SWL 113. SWL 114.
114, checking in.
114 is checking in. Thanks, Wayne. We got you checked in.
Also, can you proxy in the 2-bit ditch banks of Iowa, 58 and 82?
Yeah, let me do that. They were quiet tonight, so I'll get Ron and Jeremy on the big board here tonight. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, there's somebody in my noise over. Yeah, maybe that's bleed over. Let's try SWL 128, who I know is in there. Let me see. Boy, this computer is just not working well tonight. I wonder if I got too much stuff going on. We'll have to see. Hello to. There he is. John Lee is checking in about 40 minutes ago. Things are working. They're just working slow, including me. And there's might have missed Albert waving a hand. Albert and the group waving a hand from Squamish up there in British Columbia tonight. And there is the Bob and Steve show. I've got the picture. I didn't transfer it, but I'll have to see if I can, with the Henry amps. They're wiring. I think they're wiring the green room for 3-phase 220 to put up the big amplifiers. They just got back from Mardi Gras with the Jingle Singers. I've got some beads out here somewhere I have to do. Installed the surround sound in the green room, and I'm in the wrong spot. I miss out on all the good stuff being here in the studio. The Jingle Singers love it, and the fish do too. Don't tap on the glass. Just play the song they like the best. The 30-gallon tank is perfect. I think it's more like a 31-gallon tank, because I notice there's a lot of water on the floor. Anyway, thanks, guys, for keeping the Jingle Singers happy, because that is what promotes this old tube radio network. Over to SWL 131.
131 checking in.
All right, thanks for hanging in there as we count up the roll call here. You are sounding good, John. Thanks for checking in. SWL 133.
Station.
And the station, go ahead, over.
SWL 93 wants to check in, late start.
Hey, Louie, I hear you. I heard you when you were talking to Ray in the mobile, so I got you checked in, but I hear you live and direct now, and the X is in the square, over. All right, well, this is the 2 cents frequency. So, and I'll even give you change back. Thanks for checking in. All right, let me call 133 again. SWL 135 will get a proxy check-in. SWL 137. Up in Coarsegold, SWL 145. SWL 147. Maybe 147 is working the QSO party. Actually, that would be for him. It will be tomorrow, I think. He's up in North Carolina. Let's try Course Gold again. SWL 195. Boy, I hope my static isn't taking people out tonight. SWL 226. Anybody else before we check in with the tube radios? And hello to our new stations tuning in, waiting for those conditions out there in British Columbia, Johnson City, or somewhere near it in Tennessee, Logan, Ohio, Coos Bay, Oregon. I've actually been there, but long, long ago. If we get some short skip tonight, the EHOP, we might be able to hear you guys. Hello to Germantown, Wisconsin, one of our faithful digital listeners. Riverside also as well. And Canby, Oregon. Waiting for that. Okay, let me not waste any time. We'll be right back. We'll be starting up with the tube radios, the old tube radio network. Back in a moment. All right, I hear that station, but does anybody hear? They sound like they're off frequency to me, but that just could be my terrible radio here. Resetting the audio stream. Okay, I think we're ready. Let's give it a whirl on the old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by OTR. Brought to you by 27.085 megahertz. Brought to you by RADI. The old Tube Radio Network.
The Old Tube Radio Network 27085 on your dial, channel 11, theoldtuberadio.net, and the YouTube page. Decked out in the 1960s suit, the official Old Tube Radio Net Control shirt, and want to say hello to those who are listening and our groups that listen in from Facebook, the Antique CB Radio pre-1977. Hello to all of you from there. The CB Radio Lounge, the CB Radio Connection, High Fidelity CB Radio. I've got the Heil microphone radio for that. The 11-meter CB Radio Junkies, Vintage CB Radio, fans of Demco. Will we get a Demco tonight? And related equipment. I know we will get the related equipment. I'm not sure about the Demco. Vintage Tube CB Radio. The site of Worldwide Sidebanders, we have a couple checking in tonight, and of course Rich Anderson and all the gang at CB Radio News, waiting for those glow-in-the-dark radios from 1959, 1958 to 1978 when they just stopped making them, but they will show up here tonight in the Old Tube Radio Network. We are standing by looking for radio number 1.
Number 7.
And I've got a couple. We'll get started here. Let me grab my list to get everybody in line. Now, we've got number 7. Step up into the air chair, but don't take a transmission quite yet. Who else is out there? Was there another station that would like to check in?
45.
All right, we've got Paul You'll be radio number 2, so hang out in the green room. Apparently, they've got everything set up as usual, really nice. And then I heard 25, who is Jerry. You will be radio number 3, over.
Roger, roger.
And there will be more on your old Tube Radio Network. We will be hanging out here to get all the radios checked in from our radio collectors. Hopefully, wherever you are listening from, you have been doing some radioactive stuff, whether it be tubes or not tubes, but getting on the air is a good thing. Stepping up into the air chair now, SWL7. Hello, Ed. Tell us what's behind your perhaps coiled cord microphonium.
Well, this is the Browning R68 T68.
I almost knew that. I knew it was a Browning, but I wasn't quite sure which one had made it onto the desk tonight. So let me see if I can find a representative item of interest. Yes, I have that, so let's go there. And then get rid of me, and we can see the radio itself. The first Golden Eagle after the R27 S23 didn't have any designation like a Mark I. It was just called the Golden Eagle by Browning, and take a transmission.
Oh, there you go. And there were a couple editions of this one. This one's a second edition. It does not have the variable receive. It has a 3-position, which is kind of weird. But it works really well, so I will not complain. Hey, it's a Browning.
It's a Browning. You can't go wrong at 8:47 Pacific Daylight Time. These were coming out of New Hampshire. When? 1967 and 1968, and still fairly reasonable in $1967 for $395, huh? That would be your top of the line. And as Ed mentioned, the Series 1 transmitter, they had the spotlight. Some receivers have the variable RF gain, others have the 3-position switch like his. And there was some optionable stuff for that as well. Give us another transmission. It sounded great.
Well, I don't know if optional, but whatever you said there. But anyway, yes, no options on this one other than, and it has the Browning banana mic also attached, so all stock.
And sounding good, getting us started off here in the parade of classic radios, sounding pretty much like it did when it first came out of the box. And for those of you like myself who are around in the day when just about everything was tubes, that's what we try to do here, make it sound like it did back when CB radio was your social media, when after Red Skelton went off the air, or you got done with Jackie Gleason or Ed Sullivan, you jumped into wherever the radios might be and keyed them down and took your 5-minute QSO with your friends, just like we do here. One more transmission, and we'll say thanks for getting us started off. Over.
Well, and thank you. And with that, I'll definitely warm up another one.
Perfect. All right. Stepping up into the air chair now is Paul, SWL 45. Also, as Paul is getting comfortable here, I want to say hello to SWL 25. Mr. Bill is checking in. So if you're listening, Bill, we've got you checked in. And also, our stations from Greeley, Colorado, has been listening in for quite a while. And we're looking forward to some skip conditions. That's Justin and Teresa out there waiting for their, I don't know what it would be, but waiting for their favorite radio to check in. Speaking of favorite radios, hello, Paul. What have you got for us this evening? Over. See if it's working. Hello, 45. Over.
45, have you got me now?
I have you now. You sound 10-2 and wall-to-wall, as we used to say.
Okay. I want to check in my T-Craft Falcon Mark 5 radio phone, Roman numeral 5.
Okay, from T-Craft Falcon Mark V. Let me see if we have a representative of that. Indeed, hey, look at that. There it is. Let me go to the... what would it be that one? No, let's go to that one. T-Craft Falcon Mark V. This is interesting. This one's even got a tag on it. I don't know if that's the one from your collection or not, but go ahead and take a transmission.
Okay, I'm about ready to lose you. The static's really trouble up here. This radio's not cooperating real well either. But that's not mine. It looks like mine, but it's different. That one has a VFO for receive, and mine has all crystals in it. And mine also has what they call a TNS, twin noise squelch suppressor, and it really works well for this thing, I'll tell you. Anyways, radio's a 1962 by T-Craft and T-Bowles North, I believe that's USA. Anyway, yeah, I think it is. So anyway, back to you.
All right, I'll try and keep my transmission short so you can hear me. I put the S meter back on, so if you rewatch the video, you can see what your S meter is. The radio face... Let me go back into the radio reminds me with the dual channel selectors of like one of the Olsen sidebanders, and you have really super loud, sharp, nice, crisp audio. So I wonder if they share the chassis at all with that. But you will be pleased if you listen to the archives, the replay on how nice and punchy the audio sounds through my static level tonight over.
Okay, Barry can get you. Doggone it. I hope you can hear me. What you're saying, you can't hear me a little bit. I'll listen to it on archives. Thanks, Dennis.
All right, thanks for bringing by the radio. This, let me go back to the radio on the S meter. The T-Craft Falcon Mark V, putting in a really good signal. Paul is up in the foothills above Fresno, probably about 35 or 40 miles away, so that is no slouch signal coming in from the T-Craft Falcon Mark V, and just absolutely great audio for what looks like an S8 signal. So you gotta love that tube audio. Let's continue on Radio 3 as Jerry is reluctantly leaving whatever was going on in the green room and stepping up into the air chair. Hello 25 over.
Tell you what, Dennis, it's always a blast in the green room. The jingle singers are passing around a bottle of champagne, and they are in a great mood. Anyway, 25 checking in on the radio telephone MC5 from beautiful downtown Burbank, California. Back to you, Dennis.
Beautiful downtown Burbank. I've got the big headphones on. I can't do my Gary Owens impersonation with holding my ear, but he did on Laugh-In, which, let's see, that was 67, 68. This radio that you're on, the General Radio Telephone MC5, was around when Gary Owens was probably working at one of the LA radio stations where he was at. Okay. Here's one from Paul's collection, who just checked in with us on the T-Craft. So we'll bring that one in and give us a transmission on the Mark V, or on the MC5, over.
Yeah, I remember Gary Owens, he always had a finger in his ear while he was, I guess he was trying to hold the earpiece to his ear, but yeah, I remember Gary Owens on Laugh-In. That whole series was a lot of fun, as was Green Acres and the rest of them. You know, Green Acres made a lot of fun of us here in the valley. Specifically, Hootersville, that was Porterville, you know. They kind of made fun of us farmers. But anyway, yeah, Dennis, actually, probably not talking on the correct microphone, but it seems to be working. I'm talking to our attorney, Turner Plus 3B powered mic, and but I've got it toned way down. So anyway, well, that's about it. What do I have? 6-channel, 5-channel, crystal control, 6-channel. And I do have the secret tone alert, tone signal button on it in case, if you're... Oh, there's one other thing that I got to tell you. Right below the button, that button that operates the tone signal there's an external socket that you can put a crystal in. And that's the X socket where you can have a secret frequency that nobody else knows about. Plug it in and talk to your buddies about whatever you want to talk about. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this one. Anyway, back to you, Dennis.
Back to me in the studio. Well, you had to be, according to the FCC, you had to be crystal control on the transmit, but you could be variable on the receive, which this one does, gives you all 23 channels possibility. And then you could put in the receive channels to possibly match your transmit. And then the V takes you to the VFO on the receive side, as we see in the picture. The X, station X, takes you to the external crystal. So if you wanted to add something in without having to go inside the radio and move things around, you could do that sort of the plug-in crystal. So you may have a little box of channels, and you could work it that way. Put your favorite 5 in the radio. We see the tone signal button. We'll get to that in a second. I want to use your nickel just for a second to say hello to our Tim Tron here on the West Coast. Tim up in Washington State in CN85, and he's uploading a video. Tim, if you're listening, I was falling asleep at the radio station the other day, and it was your fault because I stayed up really late watching a couple of your videos with the antenna and the attic antenna and some of the rover field day stuff. And there's a new one, I think, on the 100. I picked up one of the new Yaesu radios with, is it the wires or the digital? I'll talk to you about that. I don't know much about it, but I will have that availability going on. But check out Tim's videos, especially if you are wanting to get started into ham radio or just wondering what you can do. Tim does a lot of great stuff on a modest budget with equipment that is affordable. A lot of times you see pictures of these guys with the 300-foot antenna arrays. Look at Tim's video, and it's down to earth, and he does stuff with attic antennas and going portable and just very, very affordable. And I think if you are thinking about getting into amateur radio, you want to see his videos because he does a good job of keeping it simple, but keeping it fun. Thanks, Tim, for that. Now, back to another guy that keeps it simple and fun with his readiness, I think, at that tone signal switch called the Q-Bird. Over.
Well, let's back up a little bit. That gentleman have a website?
I want to. You could probably do his call, and I can't remember. It's easy. It's like a WB7. It's 7TIM. Check out After the Net. I can probably. It's probably on my other computer. I could send a link up. But you could probably do it by his call, and I'll have to get his call. I should know, but it's a TIM call. If he's listening, he will probably put it up on the screen for us.
Oh no, that's good enough. I can look him up on QRZ, Dennis. Thank you. Yeah, W7TIM. I will definitely do that because I go mobile, as you know, a lot. The RV with the fifth wheel and. It's always nice to find, little tricks that, the best thing I can do is throw up a G5 RV Junior up, and I know this is probably not the right time to talk about ham radio and antennas and stuff, but for 40 meters, but boy, if there's any tricks, man, I'm interested. So anyway, back to you, Dennis. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, it's WB Whiskey Bravo 7TIM. Check out his videos on all things CQ and ham radio, and like I said, Tim, you kept me up past my bedtime watching the other things. and new stuff. And then I will get in. I've been taking the thing. It's the 400. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet. So I wanted to get into the 21st century. We will see what is going on. Yeah, that's wires and that kind of stuff. So I got to watch some of the videos on that. Yasu has some of that on and learn about that. But that's part of updating the shack here for 2020. All right, we will continue on. The Jingle Singers are ready at the top of the hour. But before we go, are you ready with the tone signal over?
Roger, here we go. There is the secret tone signal alert, and I'll get off the key.
The last and the greatest tone signal, the MC5, was the last general radio telephone that had it. It wasn't the first, but it was the last because the FCC didn't like those built-in noisemakers that could run 100% plus modulation. And so what happened, either it had to be an external box. I think Sonar had one and E.F. Johnson had one where it wasn't built into the radio. You had to buy it and add it. Or, as everybody knows later, they started putting them into the microphones. But the FCC really had something they didn't like about putting it into the radio so that it was always there ready to go. And so they made them take it away. And if you see the next model, the MC6, in that very position, it will say bull horn. Yeah, bull is right. Thanks for checking in. And we've got the Jingle Singers coming up.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite slot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
And we're looking for radio number 4.
45.
There is Paul once again. Hopefully you are hearing me okay through the static. Over.
This thing's drifting too, so bear with me. You sound pretty good on this radio. General radio telephone MC3.
Oh, we are going back probably to the early 60s, maybe 1959. I think it was the MC1. Let me see if we've got an MC3 in our files. It's going to look like your typical master control. There it is, the rack handles, the tunable dial, not too much different than the 5. I'll get when that came out, but let's go to a larger picture. I like the radio, and that looks like it also has the tone signal. Give us a transmission. Over.
Yeah, it's the first one that came out with a tone signal on the thing. I'll give you a small demonstration. It's very hard to give it a long demonstration. So I'll do mine smaller. I have to show something right now that I'm not talking there.
Okay. Did it come in? It came in for a second and it went away.
I'm sorry, come back on that, please.
I think I heard it come in for a second and then it went away. Did you try the tone signal? Over?
Yeah, it was working earlier, but now it's not working, I guess. Let me try it again. Here it comes.
Well, if it's in there, it's very weak. Normally, they modulate that radio at 100%. The MC3 from 1960, which is what I thought, and a giveaway is it will run mobile at 6-volt DC or 12-volt DC, which was typical. There were still a lot of 6-volt mobiles around in 1960. It only needs 7 tubes. It's got an EL84, a pair of EL84s and a power amplifier on the audio output and the modulator as well. But I didn't hear the tone signal. Over.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know why that tone signal didn't work for us, but it did earlier. These old radios, I'll tell you, you don't know where they're going to go or not. No, anyway, it's an MC3, and like you say, 1960, when it was engineered and sold. 7-tuber, and like everything else you said, they work on 6, 12, direct current, and then 150-volt variable current. So here's got a crystal, electrovoice, checkerboard polished aluminum microphone,
So what do you see in the picture? Most of these didn't have the crystal. This one here has a crystal. It seems to sound real good, pretty close to the ceramic, but I think it's a little bit stronger. How's it sound?
It sounds good. It's got a full fidelity and a nice tone to it, so no problem there. And then Mitch, SWL23, says it sounds like your Q-bird flew the coop. So maybe you, like a parakeet or a minor bird, you have to have one of those little 78 records that you put on, and it will teach. You have to play it over and over, and it will teach the radio how to warble a little bit. Let's see, before you go, take another transmission. I'll check that crystal frequency. We'll do a 0 beat, and I think we really want to try the tone signal one more time before you go. But first, take a transmission, and I'll check your frequency. Over.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. But anyway, I like the 3. It's a nice radio. It's not as strong as the 5. I think the 5 has got a bigger transformer in it. These 3 do drop the transformers. I got one over there that's loaded up on it. Not fun. Anyway, I hope you got enough time.
Yeah, perfect. You are dead on frequency. I set my radio here. It's off about 60 cycles or 60. Is it 60? No, 60. And when I went to the BFO, you are right there. I go either side, and I get the tone. So you are perfectly aligned with net control. That's what you're supposed to do, I think, is tune to where net control is, regardless of what the dial says you may be on. Radio number 4, the General Radio Telephone MC3 from 1960. Still needs a little practice on the Q-bird to get it to warble. But we'll see what happens next time it comes around. Built like a tank in beautiful downtown Burbank and sounding good. Would that be 60 years later in 2020? Amazing.
Okay. Here goes the warble. Hope it works. I don't think it did, but it might have. I can't tell.
Maybe it's like a dog whistle. So if you could hear that, either you have really good hearing or perhaps you're a canine. So every dog on Shaw Avenue is starting to bark. It's just in a different pitch. Thanks for bringing it by here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Check it in, Dennis.
Yeah, when the relaxation oscillator on the General Radio Telephone has had a little bit too much wine and cheese, maybe we should make it a requirement that you do not bring, if you're checking in your radio, you do not bring it in into the green room prior to checking it in, because we could have what happened just happen. So I wonder if that works on the Eagles as well, that your radio won't ping. This one sounds like it is. The radio station, go ahead, sir. Yeah, hello, 25, over.
Are you addressing me, Dennis?
Yes, I am. You will be Radio 5 if indeed you have Radio 5.
Well, I do believe I have a radio. I don't know what number it is. But I will try to check it in. It's the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB 2-piece radio. The big red on the air light is on, and the beautiful Golden Eagle is on the screen just above it. And the transmitters are, I guess, doing this thing on the bottom. And the meter, but I don't have it on the output. I have it on SWRs, and it's showing really good SWRs. So anyway, Dennis, the Golden Mark, the Mark III Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, and talking on the non-powered, by the way, banana mic, I believe made by Electro Voice. Back to you, Dennis.
I believe that is correct. That's sort of probably the microphone that radio was set for in the way they did the audio. But D104 sound good. Any microphone sounds good on that. It makes it sound like a Browning. I've tried running the Browning through the Audio Bird before, and you know what? It sounds like a Browning no matter what. You can kind of force it into mellowness, but it's a little bit difficult. We're showing the radio stacked. The unit on the bottom is the transmitter. Unit on top with the speaker and the on-the-air light is the receiver. Do you have them? I don't remember, because I have had the pleasure of actually operating that radio some time ago, and I can't remember if you had them stacked, elevated, or side to side. Over.
Well, I believe at the time that you operated this particular radio, it was on two different shelves on top of each other, or a shelf, then split by shelves. I'll put it that way. But right now, I just have it stacked. And by the way, this is a 2-pin connection. I guess there was a 4-pin connection that came out later for these particular radios, but this is a 2-pin connection, so it tells me that this might have been one of the earlier models, and maybe you could help me out with that. So anyway, back to you, Dennis.
Well, I'm not the Browning aficionado, but I think most all of them were the 2-pin, which is a little difficult to. I always thought they were difficult to solder and put together. You just have the 2 pins in the shields. You had to be very careful because there is some high voltage, some B+ going on those things. You got to be careful. What I do know that and you have the Hallicrafters CB3, I think it is wired exactly the same. If you look at your Hallicrafters, I think it is also a 2-pin. And I know when I was working on the one here from Chris, I was able to take the audio output of the board that I had wired for the Browning, and it worked perfectly into the Hallicrafters, which was a 2-pin as well. So I guess when there's only 2 pins, you don't have a lot of selection on doing things wrong. It's either this way or that way, and typically it can't be reversed. So I don't know, maybe we'll have to ask Paul if the Mark IV came out with a different mic connection, and there were at least two versions of the Mark IV, one that Browning did and one that they didn't, so they might have changed it that way. Radio 5 is the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. We'll be hearing it in a moment. We're seeing it if you're watching the video, or a likeness thereof. That's not exactly the one he's talking about, it, but looks just like it. This radio was very popular in 1972 through about 1976, especially if you had $700 that you didn't know what to do with. Back to you.
Yeah, Dennis, you're exactly right. I use these same microphones. I have a D104 wired up 2-pin, and then of course this banana mic, a 2-pin, and they work perfectly with the Hallicrafters. As a matter of fact, I just might warm that one up and check it in. So it's been a while. So anyway, thanks, Dennis, for checking in the Browning. Back to you.
I think that would be a good idea. And one of our SWLs asked the question, or let you know, do you know why that banana microphone works so well on the Browning Eagle and the Hallicrafters?
Actually, you know what? I use the D104 and Hallicrafters, but I've switched them back and forth. I think the D104 has a higher fidelity, has more highs on this particular radio, the Browning. But they're both non-powered microphones. And like I said, I just think this Electro Voice was just a perfect marriage for this the Browning, the Mark III SSB. So anyway, that's the best way I can describe it. Anyway, back to you, Dennis.
Well, I think you did well. The banana microphone just has, as they say, a certain appeal, if you will, for both of those radios and maybe some other ones. Sounding good. Radio number 5, the Golden Eagle Mark III SSB on the Old Tube Radio Network, where the jingle singers are ready to go. And that is also, I guess they're also ready to sing. They're ready to go, but they're ready to sing, and they'll do that for us here.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you, wherever you are. The friendliest nation for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
Looking for radio number 6.
45.
Number 7.
All right, and we've got 45. Paul, step up into the air chair. You will be radio 6, and Ed is heading over to the green room, and he will be radio number 7 at 9:16 OTR time. Hello, Paul.
Yeah, hi, Dennis. This is my last gentleman to check in. I've been through all the whole work, so this is the last one I haven't checked in. This is my MC4, radio telephone.
We're doing the early general radio telephones tonight. I will see if I can find a picture of an MC4. Also, I want to, I've got the noise blanker cranked quite high tonight, and it may be affecting your audio a bit. So let's go to, oh, okay, we got a couple of pictures. Let me do this first. This is an advertisement from 1961 for the MC4, talking about how it's a great Christmas idea. I'm assuming you did not get that MC4 for Christmas, over?
Yeah, I'll be darned. It's in there somewhere. I got a picture of it. I know you got there somewhere. You'll find it. Anyway, it's like it's manufactured in 1961. It's a little harder than the MC3. Say, I guess it's got he got up and kept on raising and making them stronger as they got in upper, and just number 5 was the last one that they had with this. By the way, we're trying the tone signal on this one. Let's see if this one works. That's enough. Did it work?
Yeah, it worked great, and it actually queued itself up a little bit. It sounds more like the Martian ray gun than the typical one. We'll have you do that again to see if it warms up. But it's working good. The audio is good. There's a little, and I don't know if you're hitting it too hard or not, there's a little sputter sometimes, and it doesn't sound like flat topping to me. I don't know. It's not bad at all. You might, when you listen to the replay, you might not even notice it, but you've got plenty of audio. I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to the picture that's got the S meter. So come back with the transmission and try the tone signal again as well.
Yeah, I see you found a picture. I'm sure that's it. Yeah. I'm getting the mic that you're seeing in the picture. It's not an amplified mic, so if I'm flat topping, I must be getting too close to this thing and holler into it or something, so I'll back off a little bit and see if that helps. This thing, it's the same as the 3 just about, as you can see by the picture of the thing. The microphone, I really like these little electric voice microphones. So this sucker is a ceramic. And the last one I was checking in was a crystal. So probably a little bit of difference. That's about it. Back to you.
Yeah, very, very similar. It's got, like the MC5, it's got the external crystal socket. You can go to the variable receive. My notes don't say too much about it being different. It was just their model for 1961. So the MC3 in 1960, the MC4 in 61, and then the MC5 in 62. So there may be some slight modifications. General usually seem to put out something new each year with some modification. This one is 4 fixed crystals, 22 variable on the channel. They call it 22 channel anyway. 6-volt DC, 12-volt DC. And there is a schematic for anybody interested at oldtuberadio.com. Is that right? Yeah. On the radio archives, there's a schematic for that radio. Great microphone. You could make waffles. You could make Belgian waffles with that microphone. Okay, before you go, let's try the tone signal once again. I want to see if it does that little cue in that it does.
Okay, I want to tell you about this. Last week you asked me if I knew if I had a full-length function bridge, model 615. Yeah, I couldn't understand you real well, and I don't understand real well anyway. But yeah, it's a 615B antenna, field strength, and VFO. So that's what I have, and I have a bunch of them. Back to you.
All right, I know you have a big collection, and I thought, well, I know those are rare. In fact, I went back to the ad, and what Paul is talking about, if you're looking at the picture or on the video, there's a unit at the bottom. It's called a Model 615 multifunction inline bridge and single instruments that measures standing wave ratio, fill strength, and true watts, complete with internal dummy load, a must-have, $39.95. Wouldn't you like to have one now for $39.95? Built like a tank, just like the radio, a great huge meter. If you're into the general radio telephones, that's almost one of those must-have accessories because it matches the MC series, I think. With this is not it's just a monochrome a brochure that we're showing, but it matches the radio and the color and the switch and everything else. They also had an Echo 9. I don't think we've ever had anybody check in with the Field Master 9 transistorized walkie-talkie for $59.95. They probably have to be pretty close. But we have had a few of the MC radios, Master Control. Radio number 6, it sounds good. Give us another transmission, and if you can try the tone signal, go for it.
Okay, Chris is wanting to get in there, so I better get out of here. He's probably going to check in that good sound generator telephone. I think I know the one. Anyway, go tone signal. That's it. Thanks, Dennis.
All right, it works perfectly. I like the way it cues up. You'll hear that when you hear the playback. It sort of jumps into flight, and then it takes off. Very, very graceful on the signal, on the tone. Radio 6 from General Radio Telephone. Radio 7 is walking up to the air chair. So get yourself comfortable, Ed, and then let me check in with the breaking station. Do we have another radio that wants to get in? Over.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. 145 checking in real late.
Okay, that's Tony 145 in the SWL mode. I'll get you in on the paper, and yeah, it's kind of windy. Getting ready for a little temperature change. The barometer has dropped, so hopefully everything is fine and dandy up there in the hills.
I'm lightning and thunder, so we're doing good. We can handle the rain, though, if we get snow tomorrow. Interesting.
Yeah, indeed. Thanks, Paul, for your radio number 6, and Tony 145, we have you checked in. Over.
Thank you, Dennis. Sorry for interrupting the show. Back to you.
Hey, no problem. We want to get everybody in before we have to sign out. Speaking of the show, it continues, such that it is a show, I guess, a show and tell with SWL7, who has Radio 7. I'm not sure what it might be. I think by the process of elimination, I know what it could be, but we'll find out. Go ahead.
Well, being as this one's not pinging, it's not a Browning. This is the Tram, TR27 Echo. 23-channel transmit and receive. Very good. I figured it could be a Tram, or it could be something from E.F. Johnson, but the Tram will take. Let me go with, we've been doing, showing the full screen advertisements, so let's start with that as you take a transmission on, as they say, another step forward in CB communications, the TR27E base station. Over. There you go. And as a matter of fact, I have the microphone that looks just like that sitting on top of the radio, only that's not the microphone I'm using. On this one, I have the Electro Voice 638 attached. Okay, and there is the radio. In fact, I do believe that is from Ed's collection. Microphone, that is interesting. The microphone jack looks like a headphone jack. Is it
Is it just a 2-pin microphone, two-prong, or is it like a stereo type plug?
Quarter-inch stereo. Yeah, it's real super simple, and yeah, it's no problem. I wish I had more like that. It's really simple to wire up.
Yeah, I saw that. I guess that's standard. Looks like it's a standard factory issue. Yeah, it seems like it's a little more practical than the 2-pin with the springed shield thing that Browning had. This is from 1963, so this is the same year as the MC5. What would be the Browning? They didn't even have the Eagle yet. That came out a year later. So this and Tram had various TR-27 something series. So this was their last and their biggest and their best until whatever was after this, which I think was probably the Titan coming up.
Yeah, the earlier models of this, the TR-27 had a limited amount of crystals in them. The E was the one that had the full 23 crystal trunk complement. You didn't have to purchase any more.
All right, I was looking to see if we have a price point on that. Here's another ad, and this is sort of what the 27 series looked like, the Tram or with the 23 across. A 23-channel Citizens Band radio base station features 12 tubes with 17-tube performance. What do they give you special glasses when you look down through the convention, the vents. It looks, the 12 tubes look like 17 when you put on the glasses. 5 double-tuned RF and IF transformer, 23-position transmit, 1 crystal receive external, illuminated transmit channel indicator, calibrated illuminated 23-channel manual tune dial, transmit crystal access door. Oh, let's stop there. Transmit crystal access door. Is such a thing?
Yes, there is. In fact, if you look, that picture you've got up right now, right on the top right hand in the front, you see there's like a little plate up there. It has 2 little screws. You take that off and you reach right down in there, and you've got your whole full crystal complement right there at your hands.
Very smart. So I'm assuming they're not on any type of a turret tuning, turning thing. It's all right there, ready to go. Very smart. Engineers thinking that make it easy to change the channels. Adjustable noise limiter with on-off switch. Look at that. Adjustable, like in, out, or more or less. Fully adjustable squelch, AC on-off, and volume control. Well, that's a good thing to have. It's a good thing to have an on-off switch. Peak modulation indicator. That answered my question. 5x7 heavy magnet speaker. I was thinking it had to be pretty big. And crystal spotting. And now it says right here on this ad, now all Tram equipment is covered by a 12-month guarantee transferable to any subsequent owner. Try and get that in 2020. See warranty packed with your set. So this was a deal. Now, I don't suppose that when you've opened that setup, you found the warranted card over.
No, I'm afraid that was long gone. Didn't have the original mic with it. Just got the radio when I bought it.
All right, and it probably would have been more for looks. I don't know if you could take it to wherever Tram was and say, I'd like to talk to you about this warranty. Radio number 7, the Tram TR-27E. It sounded great in 1963, and you know what? It does likewise in 2020. Back over to you for a transmission. And thanks for bringing it by. The Jingle Singers are ready to go after you.
Well, thank you much. With that, we'll sit back and take a listen for a little bit.
And then the Jingle Singer said,
You're listening in the latest style.
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
Now, my apologies to the Jingle Singers. That's what happens when you try and... The video catches everything, but if you're listening in, you think, why did they stop singing? Because when you try and lean over and hold the foot switch, who was the Nixon, the secretary for Nixon that erased 18 and a half minutes of the tapes by putting her foot on something? I know her pain. We're looking for radio number 8.
25.
And 25 in the nick of time, working his Radio Shack tonight. I don't know out there at Madera Heights if they're still getting the blustery winds. No, I'm looking out the back here. That little bush is blowing around pretty good. So you must be getting some blasts of wind out there. Wind, over.
The bushes and the trees are moving around a little bit. But anyway, here we are. And whoever was asking about a demonstration between a non-powered D104 or the non-powered banana mic, I'd love to do the demonstration right now. But first of all, let's check in. Shut this other thing off. Got too many gizmos going on at the same time. Anyway, 25 checking in on the Holocrafters Citizens Band Little Phone CB3A.
As promised, the Holocrafters. Boy, that's got nice audio. Let me find the CB3A. This is from Cliff's collection. There we go. And there is the similar 2-pin with the spring shield microphone cable. I guess maybe that was the way to go at the time, or that's all you needed. I don't know. Good audio. There were a couple of options, one being the S-meter that fits in the rectangular space on either side of the channel selector, and the other one being a receive VFO. I guess that's redundant, right? The Department of Redundancy Department. I'm not sure if you have any of the options, but you sound good. Over.
Dennis, actually, I have them all. I have the VFO on the left side, and of course the indicator, what channel you're on. This particular radio is set up for channel 11 or 27085 at channel C, and I have the meter, and the meter's bouncing up and down, doing good as it does as you receive. And I just changed microphones. Here we are on the non-powered banana mic made by Electric Voice. So the radio sounds a little bit different than when I first checked in. That's why. Anyway, back to you, Dennis.
All right, maybe that's what fooled me, because I was thinking, no, he might be on the sonar. That has good audio. I have actually hooked the Holocrafters up here that I have here into the audio board, and was very amazed without doing any fiddling with changing capacitors around or anything. It's like it really accepts some good high full fidelity, even when the tubes are not stellar. And I think there's a little modulation light there on the left-hand side. I can actually get that to blink at me, which I can't do with the supplied hand microphonium, which typically was a carbon mic. It has my favorite Holocrafters logo, the little red lowercase h in the red circle, which is also on my FM 1000 over on the workbench. So that was their logo-esque, probably from the 60s in the 70s, still being assembled probably in the U.S., I think in the Chicago plant in the early 60s before they were farmed out and imported. But it sounds good, and you can't go wrong with a Holocrafters. Over.
Roger. Anyway, back on the non-powered D104, so that'll whoever was asking about the difference between the Electric Voice banana mic or the non-powered D104. Hopefully that was a good demonstration. I'll have to listen back. I'm kind of curious too. So anyway, yeah, and yes, on the far left lower hand side there is a orange light on. There, meaning that I am transmitting and this thing low. And the meter is bouncing up and down, so it must be doing something. Anyway, thanks for checking it in, Dennis.
Hey, thanks for bringing it by Radio 8 Helicopters CB3A. If you get the modulation light working, you're doing good. I think the D104 is a little bit brighter. The other one's maybe a little bit mellower, but not too much difference, I think, in the amount of audio, like modulation percentage. But very, very close all the way around. I don't know if I had the S meter on with both of them to see if you had a little bit more forward movement on the meter, if one had a little bit more oomph, but very, very close. You can't go wrong with either one. And if you gave me an A/B test, I would probably fail. Thanks for bringing it by. And Mitch says the tram trivia also assembled radios in the Asbury Park, New Jersey. Interesting. Where was tram when they were tram? I have to see. I forgot already. I'll have to look at my TR-27E. Was it Winnisquam? There it is. As we overlay the item of interest here, and we'll scroll down as I take an old buzzer transmission. Winnisquam, New Hampshire. So from New Hampshire to Asbury Park, New Jersey. Who knew? The Old Tube Radio Network looking for Radio 9. It still says it's 75 in the Radio Shack tonight. I've got the window open a little bit. There is a breeze blowing through. Got a couple of tubes warming up my shack here tonight. Hopefully, likewise at your QTH, and we'd like to hear them. I'm wondering, Mitch, the Tram D201, the original ones were, I think they were hand-wired, but some people said that was done in Mexico, and then they went to the PCB, the printed circuit boards, so maybe that's what was going on. I bet in 1972 you could probably actually make a living being a wirer or a solderer. Or repair, and they did some other things as well, but that 72 I think is in the Tram Diamond. So yeah, by 72 things were already starting to change, just from what we read from that article that Browning put out. That things were definitely changing in the competition. And see, Tram was up there with the high dollar rigs, although they were actually doing it doing it quite well, like Browning was. So they probably, like Browning, were able to hang on for a lot longer. And hello, radio.
Yeah, it's me. In case I don't get back in here, right? Well, I gotta come back and turn things off. Anyway, Bodges. I have 5 of those Browning pin things. So that I will let loose of. $5 a piece. So anybody around here wants one, you know. The people can find me, so you know we'll let loose of 5 of them. I'm keeping one. Anyway, that's about it. Oh, on the Browning Mark IV with the 4-pin mic plug. One pin was for voltage going to the 776 mic because it had a preamp in it. You know, similar to the +3 ones, but no battery. Of course, there was room. You could stick a battery in there and then do it that way.
All right, and there is, I think that's the 776 mic. That's the one that had the gold screen and the push-to-talk. I just brought up a Mark IVA, which I think wasn't even done in the Browning laboratory. So probably they had the 2-pin microphones through everything up until the Mark IV. Well, I'm glad you remembered that you had to shut down the shack and come out and visit us one more time here.
Oh yeah. Actually, when I'm up walking around, I feel a little better than when I'm sitting or lying down, so much for that. Anyway, yeah, the Banana Mike's crystal or ceramic cartridge, I believe it was, in the Banana Mike's made by Electrovoice, but they also made an electric condenser replacement for it. You needed an extra wire in the mic cord to bring voltage in, but basically there's one that you had the cartridge was made so it could replace a bad crystal or ceramic cartridge because those were out of production. But they did make that, and I have one Banana mic with that in there. And it works fantastic. It sounds great on a Browning. I just have to find it. And then I'll wire it up and put it on here. You can, battery-wise, you need to add oh gosh, I can't think here. The contact in the Banana mic. You have to add one little deal in there to get it to activate the battery, but you can put a couple of small little watch type or hearing aid batteries inside, and you can have the mic totally self-contained, key up that way. So I do have one of those mics. I haven't done that battery thing to it inside, but I run an external battery, and then works great.
Works great, less filling. I brought a picture of the 776 microphone. I'm going to say, looks like it's basically just a +3 with modified for Browning.
Here we go with the cough. Yeah, it's a +3 mic. I'm not sure what type of amp they have in it. Whether it was the Super Sidekick +3B type amp or just the +3 amp. I'm not sure. I haven't checked out the parts layout of it. But basically it comes without a battery, and you have the battery come, or the voltage come from the fourth pin on the 4-pin plug on the Mark IV. Now, if you want, you could put a 3 or 4-pin plug on a Mark III and do it that way too. You can get about 6 volts, 12 volts, whatever, from the radio and key the mic up that way. You can also bypass the amp all the way, and basically you have a dynamic unamped mic, but with the audio in a Mark III or 4, all you got to do is crank it up inside the radio a little bit, and you're just fine. But the audio quality, tone-wise, leaves a lot to be desired with the 776 mic.
That's why the standard D104 always works. 444. Browning audio is Browning audio. Sometimes changing the mics, it does a little, but not what you would think. But I think Browning liked it that way. Your radio number 9, no doubt. And did I have a picture of it ready to go? I think I started doing the microphones and I uncued it. No doubt you are on the classic R68 T68 with whatever microphone that works best with it.
Well, this is the unamplified D104 with the cartridge that came with it. In figure, I moved here in 1979, and around 80 or 81 was when I picked this radio up, and the cartridge has never been changed.
I was just waiting to see if there was some old audio in that cartridge that was going to pop out, but I think it's been drained.
Roger. Okay, it's getting harder to talk, so I'm going to go on in. The Browning club pin that I mentioned, I got 5 more. I came across something else, and I'm going to try and get it duplicated, because I've only got one. For those that remember, Browning came out with a radio station operator's location tag, kind of a smaller than 3x5, but it said it was from the FCC authorization, blah, blah, whatever. But on the bottom it said Browning Laboratories. Oh, wait a second. Do I have it with me? Yes, I do. I'm going to look at it right now. Oh, here it is. Nope, that's not it. Here it is. Okay. It's a call sign, FCC form 452-0, revised. It's a small adhesive label type thing, about 2 inches by about 3 or 4 inches, a card type thing, but it was bend back and peel off after you filled it out. You put your station call sign on, United States of America Federal Communications Commission transmitter identification card. And you put your name, location, operating frequencies if you want, signature, and at the bottom it says Browning Laboratories, Inc., O'Shea Industrial Park, Laconia, New Hampshire, 03246. Anyway, this is an original, I believe, and somebody laminated it, and I was able to get my hands on it. So it's laminated, and it looks really good. What I'm going to try and do is get it duplicated on some glossy cardstock and see if we can kind of hand them out. Now, I don't know if I can actually get it on a peel-off and stick-type paper thing. I guess somebody could do it. But I think it's easier just to duplicate it on a cardstock. And then you can stick it on the side of your older Browning transmitter, because it'll kind of fit in there a little bit. Or it was made originally to stick on your radio, the side of the radio. I've seen a couple of Brownings with it on there, and they're always in absolute terrible shape, mostly half gone or more. But this one is in absolutely perfect shape, laminated, and I'm going to try and get it copied. Okay, I'll let you go. I can't believe my voice hung on that long. I know, too bad. Catch you later, Dennis.
Very good. Interesting. I looked around a long time ago. I don't know what happened to my original license. And that's one thing to note. If you're an amateur radio operator, you are licensing the operator, and the CB radio didn't do that. They licensed the station. So that's why the license affixes to the rig. And amateur radio operators get a little license tag to carry around with them. So your station was the station call. And in theory, at least in the FCC, would think that you had various units on that station, Unit 1, Unit 2, and Unit 3, Unit 4. You weren't supposed to be talking from your station to other stations per se in hobby-type idle chit-chat communications. But I think things went awry like the second day in 1959. Oh, who knew? And here it is, 2020. All right, I'm showing the Browning Eagle badge. Let me go back to the control room. Thanks for jumping back out again and giving us radio number 9. And the jingle singers. Oh, everybody is up at the microphone. So I guess they want to do the last blast here. But again, thanks for checking in, Radio 9.
25.
And 25 is there. Don't go away, 25. I wanted to let the jingle singers do their thing here. I don't know if they have to leave early, but they've got everybody up at the RCA microphoniums there. So I don't know. Maybe they're mad that I missed it at the top of the hour. But here we go. The Old Tube Radio Network, for what it's worth.
Find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
And hopefully wherever you are, you do something with your RADIO, whether it's an old radio night like JT does out in the Wasama swamps, or just to get on the air and chat and have a good time like we do here. I think we are about to go into double-digit radios. Hello, Jerry, over.
Oh, Dennis, you can't let a Saturday night go by without checking in a sonar. And this is the FS 3023, not the 23. It has the beater on it, and boy, everything seems to be working. And by the way, the only difference I can tell between the FS 3023 and the FS 23 is the AML switch is in the front, not the back. But other than that, I think it's the same tube complement. And talking on a non-powered sonar mic, big old bread box, big fat microphone, talking right across it, and it seems to be working, as my ex-German boss would say. Anyway, back to you, Dennis.
It's working well. I found a representative photo of the FS 3023. Frequency synthesized, Frank Sinatra, fun service. I'm looking for a date. 65 comes to mind, but I can't confirm that. This radio to me always seemed ahead of its time. Sonars later models had some really nice, what was it, push-pull audio configurations. And yours is working well with the way you've got it set up. It always seems to beacon in quite well. This was the top of the line for sonar, had all the stuff that you'd want, that you hoped for, S meters and 23 channels built in, along with an RF gain, which I think is a great thing to have, and not a lot of radios have that. You had to pay high dollars usually to get yourself an RF gain. Plus it had the fine-tuning control for AM, which if they give you enough band spread on it, actually works out quite nice when you have lots of skip going on.
Yeah, well, Dennis, I'm looking at this thing, you know, and this is designed as a mobile radio, you know, and this is like Everett number 8 used to say, it's the mini Yaesu. This thing's got to be 15, 16 inches wide and probably 7.5, 8 inches tall. But I do have the mounting brackets, and it does go dual conversion, it does go 12 volts. And I can't imagine trying to fit one of these things in today's automobiles. But back in the day, when you had the Buick Riviera and the Oldsmobile 442 and the big old cars, you know, maybe even the Thunderbird, you know, the cars back in the 60s. That had all that big doghouse and had all that room, and they were made out of metal before you could attach these kind of radios. But there's no way you can put one of these radios in today's cars. But anyway, it does kind of reminisce back in the day. Anyway, back to you, Dennis.
I think not only would you have a real estate size problem, you'd have a problem with it melting all the plastic that's in today's car. You get a thumbs up from one of our listeners. Paul says the radio sounds great, and I agree. Did you tell me? I didn't write it down. If you're using the stock microphonium with that, or an unamplified microphone?
Absolutely, Dennis. It is a big old fat red bar. I think you called it a piece of toast, or I don't know what you called it. But it's a big sonar microphone, non-powered. Got the 1/4-inch jack. And anyway, back to you, Dennis.
Sounds good. Doesn't need amplification. Probably would sound okay with it. With the old Demco modulator. Boy, look at the trees out there blowing away. It is still a windy thing out there, and I think the 2-meter antenna is still up. I talked to somebody earlier. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll check with somebody after the program here. Oh, and somebody asked a question about Echolink. You know, we actually did an Echolink. Who was it? It was with John Lee, I think. I had it hooked up through the board. That's the thing with the Echolink. I have to get the audio hooked up so that I can bring it in and out when I want it. So it's not, if somebody wants to talk, not interfering with the radio. But I think my hopes would be to set up like an Echolink chat or whatever they call it that would work for OTR, would come on Saturday. So anybody that wanted to connect could do that and talk to people like you're chatting on the typing. You could do it on the Echolink, and occasionally we could jump in and take check-ins, or if somebody had a comment via the Echolink, I'd be able to bring the audio in and do it that way. But I think to do that properly, I need a separate radio and a separate location for the radio and a separate antenna, and you know the drill. Not that it won't be done or it can't be done, it's just the logistics of doing it. But it sounds like something that would be quite interesting and provide a forum for those who just can't quite make the 155-mile ground connection here on 27085. Getting up to the bewitching hour. Let me stop talking. We are looking for more radios if you've got them, and we'll be signing out soon here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Number 7.
And number 7. This is the old 7-Eleven trick. As we go at 9:59 with Radio 11 over.
And this time, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB with the Golden Eagle D104 attached.
All right. I wasn't going to bring up the photo, but we showed it before. But actually, now is the appropriate time to do that because your system matches more than the one we got here because you have the microphonium to go with it.
Yep, my microphone looks just like that one. I don't know what the number on that one is, but I know what the number on this one is.
Oh, are they numbered in a series of so many type of thing?
Yeah, I'm not sure how many they made. I've forgotten. I used to know what the number was. But yeah, mine's like 23186.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. I did not know that. I'm looking to see. I thought I might have had a picture of just the microphone with the BL thing on the back, but I don't. That's mostly the radio. So, all right. I just learned something, as I often do. They're sort of a collector's. They're even more collectible now.
Yeah, there's a little tag right there on the front that gives the serial number, and they left enough space on there where you could have your name engraved.
Wow, it's like 3885 when the guys are on their Collins, was it KW1s? The big 6-foot transmitter, and the first thing they ask is what's the serial number. So, if you're number 55 or 550, and I guess they keep track of, there was only so many made. They sort of keep track, not that you have one, but it's just which number you have. So it sounds like this D104 microphonium is a same thing. Radio 11, it's sounding good, doing the Eagle thing. Give us another transmission. Thanks for taking us into the 10 o'clock hour.
Well, thank you for being there to take my check-in. Really like doing this stuff anyway, and thanks for all you do at Bozo Control.
Try to keep things in order. They are winding down in the green room, but they're still having a good time. And all right, I can tell from the way they're turning the lights down that this is what they're going to sing.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
Fancy modern.
Who's the break for OTR? All right, I have a lot of static. You are in my noise level. Say again, over. Oh, 195. All right. I have, due to the wind tonight, super high noise level. So I've got the noise blanker on and everything kind of dialed up. And I know a lot of stations have been having similar items of interest. All right, you made it in time, and we've got 195 checked in. And I'm going to have to crawl on the floor to get the mouse that has somewhere under the table here. So I'll be right back. And you will see me sink down into the depths of Bozo Control here without breaking anything. See, normally what I would do is I would change the picture so that you don't see net control kind of in a compromising position. But to do that, I would need this. And that was on the floor. And the other thing is, I don't even know if it works. Let's see. It broke into little pieces, which I put back together. Ah, there it is. All right. So let's try Abracadabra. No, that's not working. Let's try that one. All right. It is working. And we're counting and amounting. Looking for another possible radio, perhaps. Uh-oh. Something bad happened here. The S meter's gone. When the mouse dropped, it changed my configuration. Well, I hope it doesn't save that way. And good night, Albert. And those checking out as we check out here also at the Old Tube Radio Network. Night DD21. Yeah, that's right. You can see all the junk. I never thought about that. What am I covering up? Covering up all that stuff behind me. Maybe I should be under the table and you just see a hand come up occasionally. Any other stations before we sign out of here and I end up breaking something else?
Don't fall apart on us, Dennis.
I'm trying not to, over.
Well, I haven't heard anything crack.
Oh my gosh! And talk about the last minute Hail Mary pass. Let me go to the SWL check-ins. And 52. I just got the crossband check-in radio antenna hooked back up. So believe it or not, after a very long hiatus, the other radio is set to 14655. I am checking in 52. From behind my less than golden microphone. I think Heil calls this champagne, from behind the champagne microphone. SWL 52 getting checked in, which will give us an extra check-in. I was just about ready to count an amount here. I don't know what happened to my picture. It just sort of, it went away, but we'll see what happens. Are you ready? Are they ready for totals? They're queuing up the orchestra, and here comes the fanfare.
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's time now for the current OTR totals.
The current and final totals. All right, there's the SWL 52. It's just the radio thing's not coming in anymore. Well, that's okay. If it ain't fixed, don't break it, right? Or something like that. Let me go back to the S meter. And what did we do tonight? We had, I don't need that paper. I don't need that paper. This is when I need 58. Thanks to Aaron checking in. 58 SWLs checking in. 14 on page 1, 15 on page 2, 15 on page 3, and 14 on page 4. So almost across the board, 14 or 15. And radios tonight, we had 11 radios with, I thought it was going to be a general radio telephone evening, and the Browning came on strong at the end for 4. So 4 from Browning tonight, 3 from general radio telephone. And the way it worked out, we started with the R68 T68 Browning Golden Eagle from Mr. Ed. Radio number 2 was the T-Craft Falcon Mark V from long ago. Hopefully the receiver doesn't drift away the next time we run it, but the transmitter sounded great. General radio telephone MC5, that Paul had the T-Craft. Jerry had radio 3 with the MC5. The MC3, is that the one I made a note? That's the one where the tone signal didn't work. Have to play the training record for the Q-Bird, Radio 4 from Paul. Radio 5, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. Radio 6, Paul on the general radio telephone MC4, which I think had a very nice sounding tone signal. I like the way it sort of queued up and then took off. Don't spray the WD-40 in the wrong hole. That might wreck it. The Tram TR-27E Radio 7 from Ed. The Helicopter CB-3A was Radio 8 from Jerry. Radio 9 was the Browning R68 T68 Golden Eagle from the Golden Eagle from Harvey. The Sonar FS-3023 from Jerry tonight, and then we finished off with just another Browning, the Golden Eagle Mark III SSB for Radio 11. Hello to just reading the comments here. Hello to Robert, who is on the handheld walkie-talkie, huh? Okay, the BC38WXST. Numbers sound big. How do they get all across the face of the walkie-talkie? I'm looking at this microphone. It looks, you know what? It's really dusty. I think it doesn't look. Is that dusty or corrosion? I don't know. It doesn't. I guess I'll have to clean off. I need the new shock mount that Heil has for this. That I like a lot better than the springs or the whatever that is, little strap things that go bad. Although this is like my third set. They were really nice. I told them I need some more, and they just sent them to me. I bet they won't do that anymore. I was supposed to say that, we thank, this is where we thank all our sponsors. SearchLawrence.com, Frodex and the Nixie Tubes, all of you for doing what you do and keeping us on the air. OldTubeRadio.net, OldTubeRadio.com, the Jingle Singers, and all the ships at sea on an Old Tube Radio Network. So before I bring something up, those who are staying up very late with us tonight, we will do this again. I think we'll do this again next week. I had inklings that I might be away from the air chair, but I think that's not going to happen. But if so, I will leave an appropriate note. And typically, if I am away from the air chair, the audio portion is up. But I'm not quite sure about that. So, good night, everybody. Have a great evening. Hopefully, you can do a radio thing wherever you are. If you don't already. And this radio thing will be back next week at 8 p.m. Pacific time, called the Old Tube Radio Network. 35 years of having fun, just like they did probably on the first day in 1958 when they put the tag on the side of the radio and said base to Unit 1.
Thanks, Dennis. Good night, great net.
I got to go outside and see if the 2-meter antenna is still up.
Yeah, might have some limbs falling on you out there.
Well, with the new coax, I found it was actually longer, and I could get it out away from the tree into a better spot where it's positioned more secure. So maybe everything will be okay. We will find out. Good night, everybody. DDX is checking out, and I've got to. I'm going to have to close this program down and reopen it and make sure I didn't erase. That something didn't get erased when the mouse went flying around. Good night. And let's take the television stream to bed. Good night, everybody.